EMP Backstage Club Area auf dem Summer Breeze 2023. Und hier ist eine Band, falls euch der Name Warmen noch nicht sagen sollte, was natürlich ein Verbrechen wäre, aber falls der Name euch noch nicht sagen sollte, dann klingelt es hoffentlich bei Children of Bodom und Ensiferum. Bitte einen großen Applaus für Warmen! Metal! Well, first of all, how was your show today?
Strange.
Why?
I have not been on stage in like 4 years, so for me it was very, very strange. Last time I was on stage, I played the very, very last show of Children of Bodom, and that was obviously quite emotional and weird. So, I mean, I love these guys and nothing was wrong with the atmosphere, but at the same time, it was super weird being back on stage, you know?
I mean, very first show after 4 years, I hear you.
Yeah.
Plus, new lineup.
Completely new lineup, pretty much completely new lineup. We have Pete on vocals, we have Seppi on drums. We feel like this is a brand new band right now. It's a very new era for us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, your sound changed as well. How did that happen? On purpose, accidentally?
Well, I blame Pete for it because it's easier for me. We wrote some songs and we were supposed to have some melodic singing in the choruses, but then we chose Pete as our singer, and he's not the melodic guy.
Not the power metal dude, put it that way.
Yeah, right.
Only in karaoke.
Right. So, for a moment, I was a bit worried what's going to happen, and then is it going to be too Bodomish? And then I decided to not give a fuck and just do what feels right, and that's what we did.
So it was just a natural progression.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Children of Bodom do not exist anymore. Was there more space to move in this direction? Did you miss that kind of heavy sound?
Yeah, I said this in an interview that I had not realized myself that I am a fan of Children of Bodom's music, you know.
Well, who's not?
Right. Well, hopefully some people. But I played in that band, and I realized later on that there's no other band I could ever join, you know, that where my keyboard skill or anything would have any use of. So I had to bring Warmen up to that level to match it, to be able to play something, right?
Exactly. I mean, Warmen are around for like 20 years, and you're always a driving force, but it's still a band, it's not your solo project, or?
I mean, currently it feels like a real band. All the way up until now, all the way up until this album, it was always a project. I was employed by Bodom, and I was doing Bodom as my main gig, and that was it. But now, with the new lineup, with the new album, this is for the first time, this is a real band.
And did you know each other quite well before, or did you just look for a good voice?
Both?
Yeah, we've been friends since around mid-90s, late 90s. And the guys were actually messaging me like at the end of last year that we have this band thing coming up back again, and we need a singer, so would you like to do it? I'm like, yes.
No-brainer.
No-brainer. Yeah.
Right.
So.
And, you know, and then for when we were writing the songs, I had all these ideas of Swedish singers I knew and American singers I knew and whatever. But then I'm so happy we landed with Pete, because he's now the perfect guy to be in the band.
Thank you.
So,
thank you, sir.
Were you involved in the songwriting as well, or did you write lyrics?
No and no. Everything was basically ready when they asked me to do this one, and I heard the riffs and stuff when I was recording vocals. I'm like, all right, that sounds pretty metal. Okay. And then I heard the full album actually when it was mixed and mastered. They sent me it over, and I'm like, shit, this sounds fucking good.
So did you have his voice in mind when you write the songs?
Not in the beginning, but when we realized that Pete is the perfect voice for the new Warmen songs, it became obvious. I wrote most of the lyrics for this album, and I got Pete in my mind, like what would suit him the best. And Pete, with his 25-year experience of being a lead singer in a fucking kick-ass metal band, he helped us so much fine-tuning all the nuances for the final arrangements and for the final versions of the lyrics.
But Enziferum are still alive, right? It's just on the side.
Yeah, very much alive. I'm flying tomorrow to Switzerland to play a show with them.
Busy man.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah. And you have re-released your album, First of the Five Elements, from 2014. So, what is the reason for that? 9 years later.
Yeah, the reason was to let people know that we are still here and going to be releasing new album. And because it was 9 years ago, I think no one remembered us anymore. So it was a good idea to release it again, and then people knew that we are doing something. And good idea.
Yeah, the official release back in 2014 was a highly limited edition for the Pledge Music campaign. So none of the people who asked the CD or the vinyl afterwards would have get it, because it was only limited for the people who purchased the deal back then. So it felt natural to release it for all the public to see.
And then Pledge got bankrupt, right? Did that bother you in any way as well?
Yeah, it was a huge mess, but yeah, we got it released and barely, yeah. And I think it was like a 200 or 300 copies that they printed, and they lost everything. I don't know, but yeah. So many people have been asking where to buy that album, and we are like, well, nowhere. And then Reaper, our new label, came out this idea to release it again, and those who have been asking, they now had the chance to buy it.
Wasn't that pretty frustrating? I mean, if you put so much work and energy in a record, and then it just got like 200-300 CDs and that's it?
Yeah, it was a sad story.
Thanks a lot for coming by. Warmen!
Dankeschön.
Vielen Danke.
Thank you for coming out. Vielen Danke. Thank you for coming to the show. It was a special show for us. It was our first show with the new lineup. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. Dankeschön.
Thank you.